Good afternoon. We are going to argue about freedom of speech in Portuguese schools, and my team is going to debate that our schools have enough freedom of speech.
And our group will defend that the Portuguese schools don't have enough freedom of speech.
First of all, we are going to agree of what freedom of speech is, and I'm going to read. Freedom of speech is a principle that supports the freedom of an individual or a community to articulate their opinions without fear of retaliation, censorship, or a legal sanction.
It is recognized as a human right under the Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights.
Our group agrees that the freedom of speech exists within our school.
But our group believes that there isn't enough freedom of speech in our school.
The thing that is important to us is the existence of a students' association, because it's a way to represent the students' opinion.
We don't have that in our schools because the Portuguese law says that the students until the ninth grade don't have maturity enough to represent the students' association.
We disagree because with the students' association is a way for the immature students practice to acquire more maturity.
And with the Students' Association, the students and the school can create a better environment for us and have solutions of the problems that we see every day in our schools.
Yes, it's true, and that's why the law should change.
Thank you.
The political and religious speech is protected, the most of it, in our schools.
We don't agree because in some schools the students have a subject about religion even if they believe or not. And that's not freedom of speech because you can't choose a subject with your own religion.
We can have moral and religious education because Portugal is a Catholic country.
Okay, I agree, but in Portugal we have, for example, the primary schools. They still have crucifixes on the walls,
which can shock some children who are from, for example, Muslims, immigrants on Portugal, and we are supposed to be a free country.
We don't agree on that. Let's
have moral and religious education because Portugal is a Catholic country. Okay, we don't agree on that. Let's change the subject.
In Portugal, in Portuguese schools, you can dress whatever you want unless it violates the freedom of speech of the others.
That's not true. In some schools, the students have to use uniforms, and when they use them, they don't have freedom of expression because they don't use what they want.
If we have like a flag in our shirts that it's not the flag of the others, they can be offended by that.
An offensive message.
And like some offensive gestures.
It can cause fights. It can insult people with other thoughts, religions. In other countries, if you insult the culture of another country.
So, are you in favor or against the use of uniforms?
I'm against if you don't use something that goes against the freedom of the other students.
And you?
Against.
What?
The use of uniforms.
Because?
We are against the use of uniforms, but we are also against using clothes that can offend the others.
Thing that is important to us is the existence of a students' association because it's a way to represent the students' opinion.
We don't have that in our schools because the Portuguese law says that the students until the ninth grade don't have maturity enough to represent a students' association.
We disagree because with the Students' Association, the Students' Association is a way for the immature students practice to acquire more maturity.
And with the Students' Association, the students and the school can create a better environment for us and have solutions of the problems that we see every day in our schools.
Yes, it's true, and that's why the law should change.
Thank you.
We don't have a students association, but we the students can use the school's newspaper to express our opinion.
But in the school newspaper, we have a rule that says that we can't express our opinions, but it must show the community the activities that we have at school and not to debate problems.
So if we don't have a students' association and can't express yourself by the school newspaper, how are we supposed to express ourselves?
Each class has a representative that has every month meetings with the school's headmasters, and that is where we can find solutions.
So, in conclusion, we think we can manifest our freedom of speech unless we don't violate the freedom of the others.
And my group think that in our school and the others, we don't have ways to express ourselves and should be more.
For example, the school needs to change the rules about the school newspaper, and the Portuguese government needs to change the rules about the students association.
Very well.
Yeah, we agree on those points, but we need to see that we can't be free to manifest in at least until 9th grade because in our schools we still have lots of immature students. So, in conclusion, we all agree that our Portuguese schools have freedom of speech.
But it's not enough, so we should discuss ways to get it.
And our generation needs to start fighting for our rights.
Because we all want a better school in the future.
Thank you for listening.
Maybe you could discuss this in your school and send us your opinion.